Hello, everyone. Glad you're here. I am, the notice just popped, so this is lovely. Thank you, everyone, for joining me for another episode of Laugh and Learn with Jillie, Little Zen Crone, right there. Because I know you've all have liked and subscribed to her channel, right? Let me do that promotion. Like and subscribe to Little Zen Crone. I'm in this mission to get everybody to 1,000 viewers. I think this is very exciting.
60, as of today, it was 60 more I need.
Excellent.
To 1,000.
Yeah. So I am honored to have you here. So I'm very excited, and we're going to chat about your experience with Zen, what that means. And so are you welcome for people to ask questions if they care to?
Sure, yeah. Okay.
Everybody type those in caps so that we can see them, and we'll talk about that. We are going to be on for about an hour because starting at 1:15, the next hour is a Tuckbox Rage video premiere. So everybody can see that. And tell everybody the cute and adorable thing that you are looking at that walks around you.
Well, it's interesting. So anybody that saw me on Saturday knows that it's October at the Hacienda Pequeña. So we have traditionally had some mice that come in. This year we sealed up everything real good, but there was one mouse that, honest to God, sounds like a raccoon. And I first heard it about a half an hour before I went live on Saturday night.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, Mark came in and saved the day, and he was behind me and running back and forth while I was doing the live. Anyway, still haven't caught that sucker. Okay. Don't know where it is, hope that it's out. But all of a sudden, Henry's hovering, and I don't know what that's about. So I'm just sitting here. Well, I do have some biscuits here, and I think maybe that's what he sees. So sit down. That's a good boy. Now just stay and be quiet, okay? He's a good boy.
Yes.
So yeah, you had some questions for me too, right?
Yes. And so let's say hi to everybody. Orshi was first in the house. Hello, Orshi.
Hi, Orshi.
And then Robin is here. Hello, Robin.
Hey, Robin.
And then we have the lovely Sandra, if I'm allowed to call you the lovely Sandra.
Mwah.
And Kristen Louise is here. Hello.
Kristen Louise.
Kristen and Orshi just did a live on Orshi's channel talking about deck creation, which was quite enjoyable.
Nice.
I enjoyed that. And my chat just jumped. So there's Mr. Elemental Cardomancy. Hello. Deanne. Hello. Tony is here. Hello. Gosh.
Tony. I always call you Antoinette because that's what it says. It's very formal. But hi, Tony.
Antoinette, yes.
Antoinette.
Yes. It sounds good that way, isn't it? Antoinette.
Yes.
There's a about it. So Regina is here. Hello, Regina. And Regina was just on your channel not last Friday, or not last Saturday, but the Saturday before.
That's great. We had great fun.
Yes, because it's on Little Zen Crone, so like and subscribe to that, people. So, Shauna here. Hello, Shauna.
I see Jonathan Daly.
Tangi, hello. Diane, hello.
I see Zane.
Jamie is here.
Hey, Jamie. I also see Protect My Energy. Do you see that?
I will in a second, but Deanne says Jill is so cute. Isn't she?
Aww.
She's adorbs.
Thanks, Deanne.
Patrice is here. Hello. And Patrice and Robin are having a deck dialogue at 3:30 Eastern today.
Nice.
False Teeth Real Tarot. That's Melinda is here.
Hi, Melinda. Nice to meet you.
And yes,
And hey,
yes,
Patrice, my love. Mwah. Good luck to you and Robin up next.
yes. I protect my energy. Good to see you. It's we're all here for a stash of Zen in our lives. Ooh, I like that. A stash of Zen.
Ooh.
So
Wow, we could do a series.
there,
A stash of
ooh, a stash of Zen. If you want that, comment, leave a comment below. And Tangi said apparently YouTube is going to be allowing the community tab to be available for those at 500.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Then you're already there.
Yeah, then I don't give a rip about whether I ever get to 1,000. I just wanted the community tab because it's nice in case, like things like, honestly, on Saturday when I had the vermin, I thought, uh-oh, am I going to have to cancel this? Because I'm not going to be sitting there with this thing behind me. But yeah, those things are nice. But anyway.
Yes. Hi, Jonathan. And
the Tarot Magician is here.
The what chicken?
No, Tarot Magician.
Oh, sorry. The Renee, hello.
And Selkie's here. Yes, Renee. Thank you for reminding me. And also, wait a minute. Six of Wands. Don't tell me because you're going to be on my Shauna. Yep. Shauna's going to be on my channel in January. Susie Gemini is here. Hi, Susie.
Susie, hello.
Gosh, thanks guys for showing up. I so appreciate it.
Community tab, Tony, is when it gives you the ability to post things specifically on YouTube that allows you to, post surveys and stuff like that. And Richie is here. Hello, Richie.
Hey, Richard.
So, Tarot Token Witchery has been denied by Protect My Energy, AAC. Okay, dang. That's like, I don't even know what's going on, but that's one of these moments. Woo!
Okay.
There was a smile, though. So,
okay.
All right, and Robin is here. I said that. So, okay. So, Jillie.
Yesy.
This is part of our Laugh and Learn where we laugh together and we learn some things.
What better way
than to laugh and learn? I know, with Little Zen Crone, so like and subscribe. And I asked you specifically about your Zen practice. And so what form of Zen Buddhism practice do you use?
Practice.
Yeah, what sort of Zen Buddhism do you use? See, this is what happens when I'm like, okay.
That's okay. We'll just keep each other on the rails.
There you go.
All right. So there are many different kinds of Zen Buddhism. There's Vietnamese Zen, which is Thich Nhat Hanh. There's Korean Zen Buddhism. There's what's called Rinzai Zen Buddhism. There's Soto Zen Buddhism. There's lots of different kinds.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know when I first started practicing. And honestly, I practiced Soto Zen Buddhism.
Okay.
And I fell into Soto Zen Buddhism because of the person, not because of a person, not because I was like, oh, let me research all these different kinds of Zen and yep, Soto Zen's for me. It was more the person, the teacher.
Sure. Okay.
So, and that, I mean, honestly, that all happened. This was like 2003, 2004. So the interwebs were pretty new, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was no Facebook. And I've told this story a lot, so I'll just tell it briefly here that I was not in a good place mental health wise at all. I had a job that I really loved, but I had a boss who was a nutcase and drove me crazy, literally. And I was living away from my family. My two young children and Mr. Honey were here in Pennsylvania, and I was living in Ohio, in Akron. because my district was all of Ohio and at that point, Western Pennsylvania. So I
Okay.
had to be kind of centrally located. And we were trying to decide whether or not we were going to sell our house and move over. But I honestly think in retrospect that I made myself I not only became mentally sick, but I became physically sick because I was away from my babies.
Right. Oh, that
And
makes a lot of sense.
yeah. So I would fly home on a Thursday night and spend Thursday, Friday, Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, and then fly out again Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and go back to Ohio. And I
Wow.
did that for about a year. And then I couldn't do it. So I came home, and at the same time I was having some real physical issues, and I had to have surgery
Okay.
twice. And then I lost my job. And so
Mm.
I was just a mess. I was a mess. And one of the things I knew that I had to do, thank God, like I had this in my head. I knew that I had to move. Like I knew moving would raise my endorphins, and I didn't feel like it, but I thought, okay, I need to start walking. And it just so happened by that time, it was about March, at the point where I could get out of bed and actually walk.
Right.
So I joined this running group. It was called Penguins, Runners, and Walkers.
Okay.
And it started by this guy who wrote a book, and I think it's called Penguin Running, and it's by John Bingham. I'm sure that Jamie has heard of this guy. Maybe some of you in the chat have as well. And in this group, there was thousands of people in this group, and everybody was really active. There was a lot of support, and you know how you're in a group like that, and you kind of find your crowd, your people,
Sure.
right?
Yes.
So I'm in this group, and here's this guy, this dude who is a Vietnam War vet and a biker and a runner, and he's training for, and he had been paralyzed, and he had been shot in the head as a veteran, as a young soldier, and had to like go through rehabilitation. They never thought he'd walk again, and here he was, running marathons, and he was writing about it, but he was kind of like writing about it in this, I don't know, very kind of odd way. And he had this odd name, which was Harvey Daiho Hilbert. And I thought, who is this dude, And, I found out he was a Zen priest. And I wrote to him offline, and I said, I am just afraid all the time. I just have this feeling all the time. God, I'm going to get emotional. I just have this feeling all the time that I'm falling and I can't get up. Like I'm just in free fall, in a black hole of falling, and I can't get up. And I'm just trying to I wish the world would stop for a second just so that I could catch my breath and get back on again, and then I'll be okay.
Uh-huh.
Did you ever feel this way? And he wrote back to me and he said, yes, all the time. That's life. Just sit. I was like, what the
Whoa.
and I thought, wow, that was cold. And but I didn't give up. I kind of wrote to him a few times, and then I finally wound up being his student. So that's how I found Zen. I had no clue it was Soto Zen until later on.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's how I started. And I started studying Zen and tarot at the same time.
Okay.
They were both vehicles for me to feel better, to understand myself, and to come out of this black hole that I was in.
I think that's beautiful because thank you for sharing what you did. That's the huge turning point. And a lot of people in the chat were commenting that's very difficult, especially to be away from your family and to be having that struggle. And I know when we're falling like that, we have that feeling. It feels like nothing is going to help.
Oh my God. I remember riding with Mark in the car to the doctor's office, and I turned to him and I said, if I can't get help, I'm going to die. I'm going to die
Wow.
from it. And I said, and I don't mean I'm going to take my life, but I know this will kill me.
Wow.
And it was just, the person that I was back then, I can believe that it was me because it was me, right? But and I don't want to make it seem either, and so I don't want to make it seem like, and then I started studying Zen and everything was perfect, because it was not, and it still isn't, right? We're human. And
Yep.
I think that once the switch of a deep depression has been flipped, once you've experienced that, this is my own theory, I'm not a doctor, I think it's like when you get mono and you always have that Epstein-Barr virus in you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think it's like that. I think you always have a piece of that with you, and that switch can get flipped again almost easier than
Right.
it did before.
Uh-huh.
So it's something, I still struggle. Well, I say struggle. I still have some struggles with depression. I like to say that I abide with it. It lives with me. It's right there. Hello,
Uh-huh.
But I don't, I certainly am not in bed like I was before.
And if I can heap some praise on you for a minute.
Oh,
Are you ready?
okay.
Okay. And one of the things that I have appreciated about your channel is you did that your wellness bag or something like
Oh, yeah,
that.
yeah.
And there is an honoring about this is it's about being knowledgeable and knowing enough that, okay, this is what's going on, and now I need to do something to manage it
Mm-hmm.
head on. And if I can, crib a phrase, sit with it
Mm-hmm.
so that it doesn't control, and then you become able to exist without one overriding the other.
Yes. So yeah, that's it. So so he told me just sit, and in the beginning, so in Soto Zen, in our order, my order in Soto Zen, we sit, and in Soto Zen period, you don't sit for any more than 25 minutes. So we sit for 20 minutes, and we sit with our eyes open, and we
Okay.
do that for a purpose. And the purpose is that, there's all different kinds of meditation, right? They all work for different purposes. Like I love to do guided meditations. I love to do the meditations that balance all of your chakras. I
Sure.
like to do, lots of people in some Buddhist sects, they will sit for hours on end. And
Yeah.
for us, it's 20 minutes. And we sit for 20 minutes because that's a period of time where your brain does not go into, I want to say theta, but I don't think it's that. I think it's delta waves, because we don't want to go to another place. We want to stay present. We want to stay present because we want to feel what it is we're feeling, whatever that is, whatever comes up, we want to be able to feel that honestly, because we spend a lot of time denying what we're feeling, or
Yes.
or covering it up, having a drink, having a smoke, having, exercising, eating, whatever. Excuse me, I'm going to go there. Buying lots of stuff, including tarot decks.
Right.
And we do this to cover up, to fill a hole that's in us.
Mm-hmm.
So what Zen Buddhism says is, nope, feel the hole. Feel that hole. Be the hole. Feel the hole. Feel those emotions. But sit with it. Don't react to it. So
Right.
don't get up and go turn the TV on. Don't get up and go, have a drink. Don't get up and go shopping. Just sit. And when you start doing that in little pieces, it helps you to become mindful when it happens to you in real life. So you go to Walmart and you go to Walmart to buy a can of peas, and all of a sudden you've got your cart filled with lots of plastic objects that you didn't need. And you think, wait a minute, what am I doing?
Right.
You
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
Okay.
And well, I mean, and that's really important, because in my pagan Wiccan practice, the idea is and in my therapy experience and my therapy training, if you can name something, then you can control it. And so it's like, if I am aware that I have this hole and I sit with it instead of trying to fill it in with something else,
Mm-hmm.
many times when I'm in that balance and in that healthy place, which, happens occasionally, it sort of dissipates itself. It just sort of, it takes less of a precedent. It becomes less oppressive to me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where we come back into balance.
Right.
So,
Right.
and so, yeah. Lots of people have, okay, so Jenna has popped in, Ben has popped in.
Hey
I
guys.
think Susie is here. Kristen Louise said, that's what I'm trying to learn now, how to abide with it instead of resisting or fighting or giving into it. That's a tough line to walk. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So.
And listen, I also like to say too that like my Zen life, because of where I was mentally, like that did not take the place, neither did tarot, of good therapy.
Oh, yeah.
Went to therapy. I went to counseling. I spent 2 years in therapy with a really, really good counselor. And you can't, Zen is not going to take your problems away.
No. Mm-mm.
It's not going to cure you.
Right. I want to share this. I have this up. Richie said, this is such a lovely story. I really need to hear this right now, Jillie. I feel in free fall now, to be honest, but I know I will get through this with family and the support from this community.
You will. You will.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? And I say this honestly with all, I'm not saying this just to say it, but honestly, I've been there, and if you ever want to talk, if anybody in this community experiences this feeling and they want to reach out, please reach out to me on Facebook, because I'm not a counselor, but I have been there.
Yes. Yeah. And Silky said 20 minutes is good for me. Otherwise, my brain goes into monkey brain. Cannot keep still. So.
Yeah, okay, so that's the other thing. When I first started, Daiho said, okay, get a cushion, get a pillow, get whatever, and sit for 20 minutes. I couldn't sit for 5 at that point. So I had to like go to him, this, oh gosh, like this, I revere this man. I really do. And he's totally human, but I totally revere him. This Zen priest of a guy with an earring and tattoos and and say, I can't do 5 minutes. And he was like, all right, fine, do a minute then. Do what you can do. And I said, okay. So I did that, and I sat for a minute, and I sat for a minute until I felt okay. And then I sat for 5 minutes, and that was a stretch, but then I did that. And it took me, somebody asked me how long it took, and I'm going to say it took me about 6 months to be able to sit 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I thank you for that. That's honest, because it's, for somebody to be able just to sit for 20 minutes with not doing it. I mean, that's
without just sitting there.
Yeah.
For 20 minutes, especially if you're experiencing that kind of free fall, or if you're it doesn't matter who you are. When you sit for the first time, your head is going to go,
Yeah.
you know, and then, you know, everybody says, just let those feelings go. Just the feelings come and just let them float away. And I'm like, fuck that shit. No way. Does that, it just goes, you know?
It doesn't work. Yeah.
So here's one thing that I did learn. It takes a long time to be able to recognize the thoughts and let them float away. But here's one thing that I learned very recently, and I thought, wow, why didn't I think of that? And this person wrote a teaching about the park bench. And they
Okay.
said, when you sit to meditate, think about yourself sitting on a park bench, like picture it, sitting on a park bench. And your thoughts are the people that walk by. And what do you do when people walk by you when you're sitting on a park bench? You might think for a minute, oh, yeah, I really like that coat. Or, wow, I wonder what that person does for a living. But then they get down the street and they're gone and you don't think about them again.
Right.
Wow. That was, for me, that was really freeing. And I've used that in my practice ever since. And it's really helpful. Because the other thing I thought was that, you know, they talk about clearing your mind. And I thought, oh, I'm supposed to have this clear mind, no thought. And then, you know, I don't know, I was naive, and it took me a long time. And one of my teachers finally said to me, okay, no, okay, our minds are going to think, because if they didn't, well, we'd be dead. So you're just
Right.
always going to think. It's what you do with those thoughts that is the exercise of sitting.
That's helpful, actually. That's very helpful.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Robin asked, how did you arrive at the name Little Zen Crone, combining the concepts of Zen and Crone?
That's exactly what I did.
Yep.
I mean, that is exactly what I did. I am a crone, and I am short, and Zen is me. So that's how it came. That's how it came to be.
Yeah. Ishi
So
said,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go.
Shinjin said, we can only do the best we can with the tools we have at any one point. The black dog of depression often wants itself where it grows. Reaching out and being heard is hard. So, but so important, I think. So.
Mm-hmm. You know, and if we talk about that fear, that feeling of being in free fall, right? You know, if we kind of peel that back, I hate that expression, but I don't hate the expression peeling the onion, but I mean, really, it's been done. So if we kind of like, you know, fold that back a little bit, you know, what that's about really, normally, or not normally, but many times, it's about fear. There's fear there, and it's usually fear of some unknown thing.
Right.
You know?
Susie Gemini asked Jillie, did anyone ever be that honest with you? I know I have needed tough love before. I think.
Was anybody ever that honest with me before? Like my teacher, you mean?
Yeah, before that.
You know, I would say that, like, probably my mom was probably not like that honest. I'm not quite sure what you mean, Susie. I count on my teacher, especially that particular teacher. He's always been honest with me. He's always been genuine. This is how we roll. So last Sunday, he did a little thing about a particular painting style called Sumi A. It's SUMI-E. And it is a meditative painting style that just uses a big brush and ink. And he's showing this to me. And so all of a sudden, like, this whole thing comes to me, and I said, oh my gosh, and I'll explain what this is in a minute, but I said, oh my gosh, this is like the Heart Sutra in motion. This is wisdom beyond wisdom. And he like literally on the Zoom camera turns his head at me and he's like, you're in your head again. Get out of your head. This is experiential. And I just had to laugh because it was true.
Yeah.
And then you had asked me about Soto Zen. So in Zen, as a matter of fact, Zen comes under the umbrella of Mahayana Buddhism, and the absolute like jewel of Mahayana Buddhism is this thing called the Heart Sutra, and we say that kind of like you go to church and say the Our Father every day,
Mm-hmm.
but that we say the Heart Sutra, and it's this sutra that talks about like form is emptiness and emptiness is form, and these 5 skandhas of thought and feeling and perception, and no attainment. Indeed, there's nothing to be attained. It's all very like, what? So I'm not right now doing a 6-week study with one of my groups. We're doing a 6-week deep dive into the Heart Sutra so that we all know what we're talking about.
That's good. That's good. Susie Gemini said he sounds wonderful.
He is wonderful.
So, and
don't tell him I said that though.
Oh, don't tell him. No. No. And or she had to head out. So, and so when you are a Zen priest, correct?
I am.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that I am ordained and have that REV in front of my name, which is why Jamie so lovingly calls me Rev.
Uh-huh.
And it means that I am a Zen teacher, that I am qualified to teach.
Mm-hmm.
Love that part of my job, and
Yeah.
that I'm qualified to counsel in a spiritual counseling. And I love that part of my job, and that I get to do like all the Sunday liturgy and all of the form and falderal, and not so much do I like that part, but I do it.
Uh-huh.
Except if I'm doing an ordination service for somebody else, but like just like the Sunday, the liturgy stuff, I'm kind of like, somebody else can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, so I came to that it's not like I sat down and said, yep, I want to be a priest. It wasn't a decision like that I made. It kind of just evolved.
Right.
And
that goes with the question that Andy the Wildflower has. How does one become a Zen priest?
Well, what my teacher would say is that you are a Zen priest before you become before you're ordained. And then it's something that you like grow into, because when I was first ordained, it'll be 2 years next week. Yeah, 2 years a week. What's today?
Today is the 11th of October, a Monday.
Yeah, so it'll be 2 years the 20th that I'm ordained.
Wow.
Yeah, and then like on the 20th, I thought, yeah, well, I didn't feel like I was ready to, do a group on my own or anything like that. So it's something that you just kind of evolve into, is the best way I can say it.
Okay. And Silky asked, are you called priest or can you be called priestess? Just wondering, or priestess. Just wondering.
We always say Zen Priest.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to call me a priestess, I'm not going to say no. I mean, I always refer to myself as a Zen priest.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and Susie says happy anniversary.
Thank you.
What are some of the tenets of the practice? Let's say you have somebody who approaches you and
Mm-hmm.
wants to learn more,
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the basics, 2 or 3 or whatever basics you would give them, Jillie?
Well, basics would be, I mean, honestly, the big thing is mindfulness and sitting. And then, so there's this guy, his name was Dogen, Eihei Dogen, and he's kind of the dude that brought um, Zen back from Japan. I mean, back from China. He brought it from China to Japan in the 1200s. I always forget if it's 11 or 12. I think it's 12. He didn't live very long. He only lived to be like 58-ish.
Oh.
And so he wrote down all this stuff. You know, he brought back teachings, and then he also wrote stuff. And so then there's all those things that we study and learn. But I would say one thing about this practice is that, you know, I left the church because I could not say the Nicene Creed, which is, oh my gosh, somebody start me. I believe in one God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth. I could not say that anymore and believe that.
Oh, uh-huh.
In Zen, there's no deity. We're not praying to Buddha. We're not asking, we're studying what the Buddha taught. And so even though we might have a Buddha on our altar, we're not praying to the Buddha. We're not studying the Buddha. And you don't have to agree with the Buddha either. You can say, yeah, no, I don't like that. I don't believe in that. It's okay.
Right. Okay. So it's about it's applying the lessons that Buddha learned.
Yes, or the lessons that Buddha taught, and that, you know, one of the big Zen kind of catchphrases is study of the self, and they say to study the self is to lose the self.
Yeah. So I read a book.
Yes, you did.
I read a book, Beginner's Mind, Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind,
By Shinriz Suzuki.
Yes, and I think, how did I describe it to you? And I'm not going. It was confusing and made sense at the same time.
Yep. That's kind of how a lot of it goes, especially the old, like he was a person who came over to the United States from Zen in the 60s. That's when Zen really first took off, in the 60s. And he kind of wrote this book, but let's remember that Japanese was his primary language. So a lot of these books had to be translated.
Right.
And some of the words just don't translate, you know? So I think sometimes that's where we get, like, I say I read these things and my head hurts. Like I have to, like, oh my gosh, what the heck are they talking about? And then, yes, there is that very, I get it at the same time. I get it and I don't get it at the same time. It's that balance, right?
Right. Yes. Yes. Candy popped in. So hello, Candy. The name of the book was Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind.
Yep.
And
the author is Shunryo, Shunryo Suzuki, like the violin.
Jonathan asked, has Jillie studied other forms of Buddhism?
I have not.
Okay.
I started with this one, and this is where I am. So yeah, I mean, I was on Masha's channel, and she was asking me questions about other types of Buddhism, and I don't have, I don't know a lot. Like, I don't know a lot about Vietnamese Zen. I know that Rinzai Zen uses koans, which are kind of like word puzzles that make your head really hurt. Like, what did your face look like before you were born? That's a koan. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So, what is the sound of one hand clapping in the, you know? So, yeah, so we don't do that as much, although sometimes, you know, your teacher will throw a koan out at you.
Yeah. Well, and I think thank you, Jenna, for posting the title, and so I think one of the things that I struggled with the book, and again, this is not endorsed by anybody else. This is simply my experience with it.
Mhm.
Is it all came back to sitting?
You know, and this is the thing, like Zazen, which is our sitting meditation, is central to our practice. And you know, so you were going to ask me a question, and I'll just put, because it kind of ties into
Please,
this.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you were going to ask me if I were going to recommend a book for anybody that was going to start Zen practice, what book would I recommend?
And I'm going to
So,
embiggen you for this so that people
oh,
can see you.
okay.
So
So
just so that you're
I'm going to be doing a probably 4-week little study in January for anybody that wants to like get a little bit more mindfulness in their life. And this is the book that I use. It's called Making Space, and it is by Thich Nhat Hanh. So it does come from a different sect of Buddhism than we are. There are some differences, but it's fine. I like, you know, I like him. So I love this book, and I use it in beginners classes a lot. And I just, I think that the title says it all. You know, we're making space for
making space.
we're making space for lots of things. So to make space, you've got to take some things out and create a little bit of emptiness, and then that space kind of fills back in again with other things, right?
Yes,
Make
and
it
Jamie has
possible.
linked it. So,
Thank you.
and where are you going to be doing this?
I'm probably going to put the notice up in my group, but it's going to be a Zoom group. It'll be a group that meets like once a week, and the group is called Life Without Walls. Thank you.
You're welcome. And also on here you have actually in Life Without Walls, you're doing a sit with me on
Monday.
Mondays and Wednesdays.
Wait a minute.
Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern and
Thank
3
you.
p.m. Wednesday.
Wednesdays. Yep. And it's just like, it is just that. It is just getting together and practicing sitting meditation. So we sit for 15 or 20 minutes, and then we kind of say, hey, how you doing? How you doing? And we're on our way. It's, you know, 30 minutes tops.
Right, right. And
Um,
yeah. And so
and the
tarot.
link is in the group.
Yes, the link is in the group. Tarot, you're still doing tarot through all
I
of this.
I am. And you know, I've thought about it. You don't see very many Zen priests who do tarot as well. But um, oh my gosh, Lisa Frankel, who
Mhm.
wrote Mindful Tarot, I believe she's ordained. I'm not positive, but I think she is ordained, and I think she's an ordained in Soto Zen as well.
Okay.
There's also another Zen priest woman. Her name is Zenju, Zenju, Earthlyn. So like Earthlyn, and then Manuel. She is a woman of color, and she had a deck out, an oracle deck out. You can no
Okay.
longer get it. I wrote to her and asked her to please release it, re-release it again. She said no
Okay.
for now. But you can't get it anymore. But it's a beautiful deck, and it was a, you know, a deck by a person of color. So I mean, I you know, appealed to her and said, we really need this in our community.
Right.
And then she also has a book coming out in February of next year that's about ancestor work. And if somebody can just kind of look her up on Amazon real quick and find that book. Just the title of it, I thought, wow, I'm going to be reading that. Come on, do you want to come over here? Sit. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jenna, for putting that there. And oh, Jamie found that, zenju.org. So, and I remember you saying very early on when I first was watching your channel, which is, you know, of course, Little Zen Crone. Everybody needs to like and subscribe, blah, blah, blah. But do it. You know you want to. But it was very much the Buddhism isn't really a religion. It's a practice that you apply to your life, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and yet there's liturgy and services and robes and doodah. And I think, you know, when you think about religion, you think about praying to a deity. And there just is not that.
Right.
In Soto Zen Buddhism, there is not that.
Right.
There is ritual, and there is, and I think there's a place for ritual. I think ritual gives us a sense of connectedness. You know, it gives us a sense of connectedness and a sense of sort of grounding in this practice that we've taken onto ourselves.
Yeah. And I know for me, I like ritual in myself. Ritual is one of the things, you know, I was raised Catholic, and I enjoyed the ritual of mass. And that's why I was a server up until I was a senior in high school, considered going to seminary because of the ritual. And ritual builds. When you do the same thing over and over again, you build energy around it. So, yes. And correct me if I'm wrong, or, you know, clarify with your experience. When you sit in the same place, on the same pillow, using the same type of incense, it builds energy around it, and it elevates it. It changes it. It makes it a more than just sitting in one space, in one spot. Yeah. It's like when I shuffle tarot cards, I actually, I shuffle the same way every single time, because it immediately tells my body and my spirit, oh, we're doing this again. Okay.
Yes. So, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, they'll talk about when you have a home practice to try to sit at the same time every day to kind of have, so like for me, my ritual is 9 times out of 10, I get up in the morning, I get a cup of coffee, I stand at my counter before I take my first sip of coffee, and I kind of I call it the sacred pause, and I take 3 mindful breaths, and I take my first sip of coffee, and then I walk back into my bedroom and I sit on my pillow. I might do some stretching first because I'm old and I get stiff. Do you mind if I let him out real quick?
No, go ahead. Let him out. I'm going to embiggen me because I'm going to answer. I'm going to, there's some wonderful stuff going on in chat. Okay. So thank you, Jamie, for putting the links. Shinjin said, no deities, no gurus, no teachers, no studies. We all learn from one another. And Julie Kuchia Watts, hello. I can feel the peace just listening to her.
Oh, thank you.
So, and Sheila Inquisitive Tarot said, me too. Catholic, still am, but not practicing as much. And I think one of the things, you know, again, I remember you saying this, Jillie. I mean, you can be a Buddhist Catholic, a Buddhist Jew, a Buddhist whatever, because it adds, it supplements.
Yes. You are, gosh, you are Zen. Anyway, you are.
Well, thank you. Okay, let me take that in for a second. Let me take that in. Okay. Well, and I think we were doing something together on the equinox.
Yes.
And equinoxes are very important to me personally,
Yes.
as well as physically. I have a very distinct physical adjustment after the equinox when it's equal light and equal day. I think I said to you, I'm like going, so let me get this right. So basically, Zen is being in the equinox at all times, being balance of both light and dark.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And at the same time, knowing that we're only like that. We're only like perfectly in balance for a snippet. Like,
yeah,
yeah, you know, God, I want to go back to this for just a second because this is really important. So
please, please.
as far as Zen Buddhism goes, Zen Buddhists are the first, I believe, the first to recognize the word bodhisattva, which is a person um, who helps others. So we basically help people to become enlightened. We hold the door and let everybody go to nirvana first, and then we shut the door behind us. We go in last. We believe that when we sit in meditation, that we are manifesting our enlightened self. So we're not working towards enlightenment. We believe that we already are enlightened beings, that we just have to manifest that, and that in that period of shikantaza, we call it, there are these snippets of that, and that's what it is.
And we hope that the snippets can be closer together.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's hard because I mean, well, it's not hard. It is what it is. It just
We're
is.
human.
So,
Yeah, we're human.
yeah, we're very human, and that's a beautiful experience. So, if people, we've got a few minutes left. So, if people have questions for Jillie, please put them
Sure.
in caps. And what's next for Little Zen Crone?
Well, Little Zen Crone has taken the Zen stuff off of the channel, and I'm going to create a channel just where I talk about Zen stuff. It's not up yet. I'll make an announcement in the group when it is, but I think it's going to be called Zen in Real Life. And
Mm-hmm.
it'll just be like more of the Zen stuff. And it's not that I won't talk about Zen on my tarot channel, but I think I was really talking more and more about Zen, and I didn't want to convolute it. I just didn't want it to, I wanted to keep it separate. Who knows? Maybe I'll mush it together again. I don't know.
Okay.
But
Okay.
for right now, oh gosh, there was something Thich Nhat Hanh wrote a book. It was actually the very first Zen book that I ever read. And this would have been, like late 80s. And it is called Living Buddha, Living Christ. And he talked about how Zen and Jesus are alike, and that he has a picture of Jesus on his altar, and that that you can be a Catholic and be a Buddhist. I practice up here. There is a Catholic university called Misericordia, and I practice with a bunch of nuns who are ordained. And Sister Stephanie, who is now like 95 years old and has survived COVID, thank the goddess, is our chant leader.
Oh,
And
lovely.
I mean, it's just beautiful, and we get together and sit, and you can be a witch and be a Buddhist. You can be whatever and be a Buddhist. That is a lot of the beauty of it for me, because it makes me
Right.
feel like I don't have to choose.
Yes. I like that. So a couple of questions. Jonathan asked, I've heard the term Bahisa Tova in Tibetan Buddhism as well. I think it's across the board with the Buddhist sects. It's not really a question, but
Bodhisattva.
okay. Say
Is
that
that what
again.
you said? Bodhisattva?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, I just read that it was the Mahayana Buddhists that kind of brought that had that term, because in Tibetan Buddhism, they believe that it may take you many lifetimes before you can be enlightened.
Here's some more praise for you, so get ready.
Oh,
Julie Kushia-Watt said, it's too easy to get swept up in other people's fast-paced energy. I love Jillie's energy.
oh, thank you so much.
And Ishi Shinjin asked, Jillie, is Zen passive? Is Zen passive?
Well, Shinjin, it would depend upon what you mean by passive. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I think that there are a lot of Zen warriors out there.
I think it's a misconception, again, only endorsed by Gerald. People's experiences of some of the Zen Buddhist monks, we see them in a certain way, but we don't see people who are living, practicing Buddhism out in the world, protecting and fighting for the rights of others and doing important work. So
the order that I'm a part of, which is the Order of Clear Mind Zen, and please look it up, and please look my teacher Harvey Daiho Hilbert up. He is it's called the Order of Clear Mind Zen. They're out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. And he, in particular, one of the reasons that I loved this order is that they practice socially engaged Zen. Now, there is another sect of Zen Buddhists called the Zen Peacemakers who also practice this. And so, yeah, you're going to see me at protests, and you're going to see me standing up for the rights of others. Right. And I probably don't look like or sound like a Zen priest who is living in a monastery.
Right.
And I'm not a monastic.
Sheila Inquisitive Tarot said, I think it is accepted. My religion teacher in Catholic high school had us all meditating.
Yeah.
And I think meditation is really important.
I wish all kids learned how to meditate. I think we should do it in nursery school.
And Jamie has put up the links for us. Passive as in peaceful and compassionate to a fault, as in non-active or doormats. I asked for the reasons that Gerald mentioned. Jillie knows I know. From Ishi. Shinjin.
Okay. So again, then in short, my answer is no, it's not passive.
So everybody can, I mean, this has been, I'm just going to wrap up. This has been Laugh and Learn with Little Zen Crone.
It flew. It flew by.
I mean, and what were we going to call our next, our get together?
Oh, geez, somebody.
Oh, I can't remember. It was like Stash Zen or Stash Little.
Somebody put that in there. Whoever it was who said it.
I think it may have been
a little stash of Zen.
Yeah, a little stash of Zen, maybe. So, but and people are invited to go to Life Without Walls and join that Facebook cruise.
And people are invited to sit with me. Like I started this because of the pandemic, and we were kind of all doing things alone. But yeah, I mean, I love it when people hang out and sit and look. If I've got people in, usually I'll see who's there. And if I know that there's a person there that's struggling, we're not going to sit for 20 minutes. We'll do maybe 10,
Yeah.
And we just all grow together. So come hang out.
Yeah. And I think, and it's, when I've attended them, it was nice. It's like it doesn't matter what you do. It's what you do, and it's just that we're doing our own thing all together. So
Yeah.
it does bring that sense of community to us.
Yes. So yeah. So that's a good point, Gerald, because we mute. So if you're a person that wants to, has this thing where you want to meditate with the sounds of the ocean or with music, you're welcome to do that. I'm not here trying to make you all Zen people.
Yeah.
If you'd like to talk to me about Zen, believe me, please get a hold of me. I'd love to talk to you, but I'm not out to make.
Yeah. You're not recruiting.
No, I'm not.
No, no more, and you get a toaster oven. You don't want more things in
No.
your tiny house.
No.
Andy the Wildflower said, "Thank you for all information for exploration." Jonathan Love, sit with me. Zane said this has been wonderful. Julie has been sending lots of praise.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to do some shameless promotion, and tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, I have a hashtag Deck Casual. It's a zany Deck Casual where Jamie of the Wandering Mountain Bardic Path and the creator, Zane of Tarot Token Witchery, we're going to be exploring the Zany Tarot. And then on Ben from Beneficial Tarot's channel, Ben Ritchie from Longman Tarot and I are doing Court in the Act, and we are talking about the Queens. You should probably join us because Ben has challenged me to see if I could make him blush talking about Queens. I don't know what he's talking about. So, and I know right at 3:30 Eastern, Robin at Toadstool Tarot and Patrice are doing a deck dialogue about a new deck that he has received.
Exciting.
Yes, but as Tangi has posted, there is a Tuckbox Rage video coming up in like 13 minutes. It's a premiere.
Nice.
So everybody should give that a look. So
I have one.
So
I have Brian Cormac Carr is going to be with me for Wine and Tarot on the 6th of November.
Okay.
I'm excited and a little nervous.
Really? Why?
I don't know. Like, he's an author and he he does all this stuff, but I love him, so it'll be fine. And then the 13th, I have Julie Peekaboo Rose with me.
Very nice. Very nice. And you do realize that that's how I feel when I have you on.
Stop.
No, it's true.
Stop.
It's like going, oh my gosh. And then I go, you know what? It's just two people, two friends having a conversation and learning from each other, which is completely the whole idea.
Yep, that's what it's all about.
Yes. So thank you, everybody. So
thank you to everybody. Richard, I want you to know that I'm holding space for you. I'll light some incense and
that's beautiful.
So you're right here. You're right here.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Take care. Bye.